Godzilla Vs Kong is directed by Adam Wingard. It's written by Eric Pearson, Max Bornstein, and Terry Rossio. It stars Alexander Skarsgard, Millie Bobby Brown, Rebecca Hall, and of course, Godzilla and Kong the King themselves. Does it live up to the hype? This latest movie in the Monsterverse delivers. It brings all the goods, it packs a punch, it's got tons of beautiful neon lights. It just blew my expectations away, and I'm very, very happy to say that it is definitely worth seeing, and you should find the biggest screen with the best sound and only watch it on that. Godzilla vs Kong. I'm Alistair, this is Lethal. Here's my review. So, I am going to keep this spoiler free, so don't worry. I'm not going to tell you anything that you haven't already seen in the trailers. What surprised me the most is how much of Kong is in this movie. I knew obviously Godzilla vs Kong, but this really felt more of a sequel to Kong Skull Island than it did a third Godzilla film. And that is a good thing. We learn that Kong is trapped on Skull Island in a containment cell from Monarch. Basically a storm has ravaged the island. They managed to move Kong into here so he doesn't die. And the native population on the island passed away due to the extreme severity of these storms. It was set across two continents. The USA and Hong Kong are the two big cities here. Now, the film, if you don't know, was filmed on the Gold Coast in Australia, and that's actually where I lived for a few years. So many times during this movie I found myself going, oh, I know where that is. Oh, I know where that is. Oh, they're in the hinterland. Oh, they're in Labrador. Oh, they're on the Spit. Oh, they're at the school. And it's the same school that was used to film Dora the Explorer movie. So it looks like they didn't do much changes to the set. So there's definitely some recognizable places. If you're Aussie like me, you will definitely recognize them and go, I know. And it looks amazing. The cinematography by Ben Saracen is just beyond anything I thought that this was going to be. Neon of Hong Kong in one of the rounds of the Godzilla vs Kong fights is probably some of the best visuals I've seen in recent date. Now, do keep in mind that we haven't seen a really, really big, good blockbuster for 12 months, right? This is it. It is coming out online in America on HBO Max. Fortunately, in Australia, we're getting it at cinemas and in IMAX, and I would really encourage you to go to IMAX if you can, or the biggest screen with the best sound that you can possibly find, because that is where you'll get the best experience for this movie. I've watched this on extreme screen at Hoyt's. Definitely worth the extra couple of dollars. Also for the electronic recliners. Oh yeah. Definitely a winner and a loser. I won't tell you who, you can find out for yourself. There's a few rounds between Godzilla and Kong, so it's not just one or two fights, there's quite a few in different scenarios, in different cities, and maybe other settings. And this is really what made the movie for me. There was so much more to this than I thought there was going to be. There was a legitimate reason for them to fight. Rather than, two titans and one has to be the alpha. That's initially the motivation. And then a few things happen and you go, oh, Kong is gonna rip him apart for doing that. And that's where the movie really, really takes off. Fortunately though, they do team up to take down the big bad of the movie. So fortunately they didn't lean on this as the whole point of the movie. They're fighting just because they're both monsters and one wants to be king. The score by Junkie XL, who, another week is scoring a fantastic action sci-fi fantasy film, also does a beautiful job. There's really, really great score when you move to a different setting that just turns the film from this, you know, like monster smasher into this big epic sci-fi fantasy film, and the score by Junkie XL really helps that transition smoothly happen and allows the audience to suspend their belief and come on that journey. And a big part of that for me was the score. Also the visuals, beautiful, but the score definitely worked in tandem to carry the viewer along. Yes, there's humans in it, and yes, they're terrible. So Millie Bobby Brown, there's a lot more of her in this movie. She more takes the main stage as the main human character, or one of three really. And she tries comedy with the Kiwi kid from Deadpool 2. And look, most times it falls flat, because in their scenes where they're trying to banter and they're trying to get us to care about them, you don't. You just want everything to flick back to Kong, show us what's happening with Kong. That being said, Alexander Skarsgard is definitely front and center here on the Kong side, and he works with a single mother and a little deaf child, and they're like the Kong people, the Kong carers, I guess you would call it. The Kong caretakers is what I kept thinking throughout the movie, and they really keep Kong in check. So I really enjoyed their performances, having, you know, a deaf girl and sign language as a form of communication was fantastic. It was something different, and I didn't have to hear terrible dialogue from teenagers or from conspiracy theorist podcasts who think they're way funnier than they actually are. So, it's no secret, the first Godzilla I enjoyed. Godzilla King of the Monsters, I did not. I thought it was terrible. I rewatched it again last night, just thinking, surely I was just in a bad mood and I couldn't get into it. Still couldn't get into it last night. I did not enjoy it. This one seems to have found its groove. And it could be adding in Kong and having, you know, the two dueling stories with the two monsters, and minimizing the human stuff really is the perfect balance in this movie. And when the humans are in it with the monsters, they find a method of transport to keep them along for the ride so they can keep up. And I found that was definitely required to make the humans, and definitely on the Kong side, more relatable. Alexander Skarsgard is great in this film, and I really, really had a good time, and I wasn't expecting to have the best time. But if you are hesitant and you're thinking about, I'll just watch it at home, don't be hesitant. Go to the movies. As I said, find the biggest screen, find the best sound, plant yourself down, take your friends, grab the popcorn. It is popcorn, movie, brainless fun, and I enjoyed every single minute of it. Godzilla vs Kong is out in cinemas tomorrow in Australia. For the rest of the world, you get it next week. So it's about it. So that's my review. I gave it 4 stars out of 5. I'm Alistair, this is Lethal, and I will catch you on the next video.